987 TV, your most social media.
All right, this is Rozz. I'm here with Brian of Placebo. Hi, thanks so much for talking to me.
Hi.
All right, so this is not your first time in Singapore. Have you noticed anything different this time when you're back?
Just, crazier looking buildings keep popping up everywhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're always in construction. So let's talk about your new music, okay? You said you wanted to write an album, and I quote, all killer and no filler. That's like a school kid saying, I'm going to get straight A's and no B's in between. Was that a tough journey for you, or was it
yes, but I mean, what's the point in trying to do anything else, really? It's a challenge that you set yourself, I think, at the beginning of a writing and a recording period. I mean, simply because even if you don't achieve that goal, if you even get halfway there, then it's a good kind of pass rate for you.
Yeah, it's always aiming higher and then get somewhere there rather than aim for the ditch and get nothing.
Absolutely. I mean, if you start off thinking, I'm going to make an album that has like maybe one or two good songs on it, that maybe about 10 or 12 people are going to like, you're kind of starting off on the wrong foot.
So you feel very strongly about social media. That you actually wrote a song about it. It's called Too Many Friends, and that's the lead single from Loud Like Love.
Well, let me correct you, if I may.
Yes,
I don't really necessarily have that very strong feelings about social media. How could I? I don't use it. And I think it's important to stress that at least these days I write about people, not about things themselves.
Yeah.
It's the human being's relationship to this thing. So it's a song. Too Many Friends is a song about a person who happens to use social media and happens to find that even though they may have thousands of friends in a virtual world, they still feel very, very alone. So I'm writing about a human being and one human being's particular personal loneliness.
How would you know about that person's loneliness if you haven't been there?
Oh, I've been plenty lonely. Haven't we all?
Well, I've got 1,000 friends on Facebook, and I feel awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you see, this is what I find interesting. It's like, how does that make you feel? The fact that you have so many friends on Facebook, does it have an effect on your self-esteem?
Well, I used to...
Do you feel better about yourself as a human being because you have so many friends on Facebook?
Well, not so much so, because I actually use it for work, right?
Okay.
So it's like to project as like a notice board sometimes, like, or like keeping in touch with friends who are like living overseas, which happens when you're getting older. Nobody likes to stay in Singapore. They want to do something, all around the world, and it's a great platform to keep in touch.
Sure. But does it make you feel like a better person, a more important person?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think that defines me.
Does it make you feel more accepted?
No, it doesn't, but it makes me feel more connected in a sense. It's easier. I wouldn't say that defines me as a person.
Okay, yeah. But it's interesting that you use the word connected, because I mean, what I think is interesting is that what people have a tendency to do these days is that they sort of make their own edited version of their life available for all to see, and or their followers or their friends, people that they would normally call up on the phone and actually have a one-on-one connection with.
Yeah.
They don't feel that they have to do that anymore.
That is true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
so,
that is true.
And that's one of the questions that that I think the song Too Many Friends is raising. Is like, are we more connected really now that we are connected with so many people via this medium? Because certainly, are we talking to each other more, or are we talking to each other less as a consequence of the use of that social?
I think it makes it easier, because it makes it easier. But you see,
is easier better?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes,
is
it
it?
is. Well,
the path of least resistance is the better one.
Sometimes, because I actually compare it to the time where my best friend, it was like the most painful period of my life. I lost my best friend because she had to go to the UK to study, and we used to have to write to each other. It was snail mail. I mean, it was nice, it was gratifying to be at the mailbox and receive like a letter a week later and go like, oh yes, I got a letter. But now I can FaceTime her, I could go on,
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so on that aspect, I think it's great.
That's very, very true.
Yeah, so
we live in a world that's very, very much like Star Trek.
Yeah. There's no excuse not to communicate because it's so easy now. I see it that way.
That's a good point. But do we communicate more or less?
Well, it's the same with or without social media. Like, you know, I can be with you at lunch, be talking to you, but not really hearing you.
Well, you could be looking at your phone most
Yes,
of the time while you're talking
Yeah,
to me.
so
Yeah.
sometimes face-to-face can be overrated.
Well, that's why I leave my phone in my bag when I'm at lunch with someone.
Sorry,
Usually. Do you?
I have to do this
you?
exception now.
Do you, though? Or do you have your phone placed right there?
Well, it depends because I'm
You
Asian,
know?
so I need to take photos of the food before I eat.
Okay.
And then I need to let everyone know that I'm eating it before I eat it. It's a nasty Asian habit.
Okay.
I try not to do it with you if we have lunch ever.